Morning. Thursday, nearly the end of the week. I left you in suspense in my last video because I didn't know what I was going to be doing today. I thought I was going to go to an oil leak, but on the way back from Kelso yesterday, I was on the phone to the fellow with the oil leak. He hasn't been successful. He sent me pictures of where the oil leak's coming from. And it's part of a valve that we had fitted to make the machine do another job, and it's leaking out of there. It's had various O-rings fitted and it's still leaking, so I think the valve's fractured, cracked, leaking. So I've just been organising a new one in here, and while I was in here I was getting a couple of pipes made for that Bobcat E10 that I've got in the yard. But I need to go to a DX210. It seems to be tracking off to one side. I'll tell you more when I get there. Bit of a ride out, so we'll probably see you again at lunchtime. Right, we're back here again. Get into the cab and I'll have a feel of the machine. It's tracking to one side, and the slow side is, unfortunately, the new travel motor side, which is very concerning. Oh dear. Oh, it's cold in here. This is the one that I started the aircon on. And that's definitely working now. Got a bit of heat in here. Put my heated seat on as well. I'll be sitting in this for a little while. Oh man. Yeah, so the machine's been absolutely faultless since we fitted the track motor to it. Similar amount of play in both of them. But just at the beginning of the week there, the operator noticed that he was struggling to get it tracked up the woods, and he was always correcting it so it wouldn't track in a straight line. Came out the woods on Tuesday night, checked the track tension, and that was all okay. Phoned me about it on Wednesday. Was that yesterday then? Yeah, he phoned me about it on Wednesday. And last night he took it out of the woods again onto here. Sent me a video of it. See if I can get the video up for you. You can see there how much it's tracking over to one side. So I've just had a dig of some fresh air, and true enough, everything does seem to be everything does feel okay. I'm just lifted this track now. I've got it in tortoise at the minute. And we'll just listen for any abnormal noises, because that was something else he said. Sometimes you hear a bit of a crunch. I think that crunch is more stones on the chain, isn't it? Bearing in mind the travel motor's over there. This is the idler end. Doesn't sound unusual to me. We'll put it into 2-speed. 2-speed is engaged. Sounds alright as well. We'll lift the other side up now. We'll see if the other side is stuck in 2-speed. I don't think it will be. There is a possibility of that. So we're at the travel motor side at this end. Yeah, that's definitely slow. Like tortoise. Yeah. That one isn't going into 2-speed, is it? Interesting. See? that's unusual. That isn't the side, that's the old side, not the new side. There's somebody phoning me now. That's the driver. That was the driver on the phone, and I was just saying to him that this is phoning us back because the signal went. Hang on. There we go. That's in tortoise now, and that's going flat out. If I switch to hair, will it speed up a bit? It's working again. Yeah, that's better. That's what it should be like. Yeah, that's in hair now. Tortoise, ever so slight difference. Hair, no difference, and it's slowly. This is the problem, not my new one. What we'll need to do is take the back plate off, put a pressure gauge into the pilot feed to knock it into second gear, and just monitor it. If it's getting a pilot pressure, then the spool that puts it into second gear is sticking. That's my diagnosis. I tell you what, I'm bloody pleased that it isn't a new motor. I was beginning to doubt myself. I was thinking, definitely did everything as we should have done, and everything that I did when we fitted that new motor isn't anything different to when I fitted motors in the past. Yeah. Okay, this is the travel motor. That's the motor, the other side is the gearbox by rights. Feed in, feed out, feed in, feed out, depending which way it's circulating. This here is the case drain, and this here is your 2-speed tracking signal. So when we activate the switch in the cab to activate 2-speed tracking, solenoid behind the cab here gives a pilot feed which shoves oil down here, pushes a spool in here which gives the motor max displacement, which gives you your second gear. So what we want to check now is we need to put a pressure gauge in here and see whether or not, when we engage 2-speed tracking, whether or not we're getting a pilot feed to shove that spool. If we do get a feed, it's probably a good outcome for me, because that means I don't have to start hydraulic troubleshooting. If we do get a feed, then the spool is leaking internally and it's not able to shove the motor into 2-speed. If we don't get a pressure when we put it into 2-speed, that could be anything from the rotary coupling leaking internally. Well, I find that hard to believe, to be fair, because that would affect both sides, because that literally goes to a T-piece in there and that splits it both sides. So it has to be the motor, but we're just going to verify it just in case there's a can't see it, like, because it's got a very heavy belly plate on. Another reason why we don't want to have to go up into the turret. Could be a kink pipe. Doubt it. Really doubt it. So we're in tortoise at the moment. See the speed of the track, and we have no pressure, which is correct. Set it into 2-speed. Oh, it's working now. Yeah, bugger. It wasn't before when I was recording on my other phone. Let's see if it drops back into first gear. Yes, and so does the pressure. Of course it does. That is really annoying. What I want to capture is it doing the opposite. I want it to be I want to see it being in 2-speed and no pressure there. At the moment it's working as it should. Let's put it into 2-speed again. There, we're in 2-speed now. have got 37, nearly 40 bar to put it into 2-speed, but it isn't in 2-speed. So I'm getting the pressure to move that spool, but that spool isn't moving. It's away now. Aha. So there I am in fast tracking. Hang on, I need to get this on this phone. Right, there we go. That is why it's tracking off to one side. Oh, it's tracking around corners when it should be going straight. Oh, ow. I've clattered up. Oh, you can't really see. I had to pull my van over here so my airline would reach to give everything a clean out before I put gauges on and stuff. And I have clattered up the side of my van with peaty slop. What a flipping idiot. Can't really tell. Doesn't look that bad. And some of you will be like, well, it's a work toy, I don't know why you're so bothered. I'm not really that bothered, it's just another job I need to do. It needed a wash anyway. I'm pleased it wasn't clean before I set off. Oops, that's what the 2-speed travel spool looks like. That goes onto there. So it's spring applied. No. Pressure applied. So you get your 40 bar to push it on, and then you get the spring. When your 40 bar disappears, the spring takes it off again. Obviously it's getting stuck, but the weird thing is that it's going into 2-speed on its own as well. There is, I don't know if the phone will pick it up, there's ever so slight scoring. Yeah, there, you can see it on the top there, in the sunshine, as though it's getting stuck. The way it's applied on its own, it must be internal leakage that's causing that, because we've just proved there with the gauges that when you want 2-speed tracking, the pressure is there. When you don't want 2-speed tracking, the pressure is not there. So we know that it's not pressure that's putting it on. It must be an internal pressure that's able to put it in. What I put it down to anyway. That's where it is on the machine. Right there, you can see goes in there. That gets pushed. That changes the angle of the swash plate inside the motor. So it's very messy. I wasn't expecting the amount of mess. I wasn't expecting. I've caught it. Ish. Right. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put this back together, button everything back up, and get out of here. There's very little I can do right now to help this machine. Just before I put it back in, I'll show you that it is moving freely. It's not getting stuck with me anyway. I think it's internal leakage causing that. I do. Right. Let's pack off. Pack off. Pack off. Well, pack off, guys. Let's pack off. I've quite enjoyed that little job. It's turned out to be a learning experience for you lot, and also a relief for me that it isn't that side that's the problem. Make sure that's got a good nip. There we go. Can hear tyre tracks that by the driver coming back just in time, I'd say. Just noticed as well when I put it back together, I'll better just make sure that the track still goes round. If I put it into forward like that, I'll knock that beeping off. If I put it into 2-speed tracking now, it's slow to react. Watch. 2-speed tracking's in now. That's not even doing it. Just when I was watching it there, when I put it into 2-speed tracking, instead of going slow and then bang fast, it was just very, very slowly getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And to me, that's the angle of the swash plate isn't just tight. Working perfectly now. Actually working. And it's working more now than it's not working. Don't put it back to work. See what happens. Oh no, it stopped working. That should be going really fast. So it's slowly building speed. So it's slow, it's getting there, it's nearly. Slow, fast, there. Back it up. Back it up. One nice thing, this place is an absolute pain in the backside to get to, but the view is amazing. Isn't that wonderful? Put it back in the slot where it came from. Okay, another little job to call into on the way back. It's literally the road on the way back is there. I did pass it on the way here. The X19, reckon there's a seal out of one of the rams walking its way down the rod. So it'll be a dust seal, won't it? So we'll have a look at it, see if it'll tap back into place and stay in position, or whether we need to reseal the ram. So we'll go and have a look at that. Not that ram. Not that ram. Not that ram. Oh. Not that ram. Don't think they mean these, do they? They've all got these on, look. That one's got one up there. I don't even think that's a seal, it's metal that. It's like, it's friction welding they call it. They'll spin that up really fast, hold that in position and shove it into that, and it kind of welds itself. That's how they make them. I think that's all he's meaning, and that's not part of the seal. Where's the dust seal there? That is the dust seal, isn't it? Yeah. Should have called in the way here because they were here like, but I just wanted to get to that 210 in case I needed to spend a lot of time at it. This one wasn't as urgent. I think it's alright. I'll give it a workout anyway and see if anything pops out of position. They might have shoved it back in. Getting towards winter spec, that van now, innit? Look. Oof. That was me clattering them tracks around. Speckled it from floor to ceiling. No, I think it's alright, like, I think what they're meaning is this bit of O-ring here. What that's there for, I don't know really, but it's not doing any harm, whatever it's doing. So I think we'll leave it at that. Past the fella's yard on the way back, so I'll nip in and just tell him it's fine, don't worry about it. Oh, I'll have to shut this window. And that's the reason why I have my machine keys on my van keys. Because I just shut the door, got into the van, and then realised the van wouldn't start. It's a good job I didn't leave the van running. I might have just backed up and disappeared, got 2 miles down the road, and then the van goes bling, 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 bling. No key present. Okay. Probably about the end of the day for me. Well, for you anyway. Yeah. See you in the morning. Friday. Look where I am, South Lakes. I've set myself a bit of a challenge today by accident. These guys here wanted the 20 tonner and the 420 CVT serviced, and they said I could have it today. It says grand, yep, perfect, we'll go for Friday. They're not big services. The 20 tonner's 1,000 hours, so that's the biggest service of the day. 420 is just going to be an engine service, and then I had a phone call off a driver about 5 o'clock yesterday. Alright, I'll just phone it to make sure you're still coming tomorrow. And I said, yeah, I'll still be there. So I've got a bit of a service marathon on today. South Lakes this morning here, doing these 2 services. Then the other service is just 5 mile out of Carlisle. It's just a small service, an engine service, and a 420 shovel. So fingers crossed, everything goes to plan. Hey, it'll be a productive day, won't it? If I get all this done. So, it's all going here, look. Shovel, that's the one that I want. Smart looking New Holland tractor, that, innit, look. Matchy trailer. Well, it's nice, like, as far as New Hollands go, that looks okay. And that's the 20 tonner there, breaking rock. Sure, that'll be alright to sit down for an hour and a half. We shall see. It's a good picture, that, look. Been chatting to the digger man there. Do you want us to take it up top? I says, well, I'm not really that bothered, like, but I'll be alright there, will it not? He says, well, I'm going to blow up that big flat bit over there. That's going to get blown up at 11 o'clock. So I says, well, I don't think I'll have that digger service before then. Imagine getting halfway through a service and then the digger just goes bang. So apparently we've got to evacuate the site and everything at 11 o'clock. I might put a spanner in the works to getting everything done today. Can you imagine? It's not just a case of hearing a big bang and then everybody gets back to work. They'll have to make sure everything has gone bang. Oh, that's why I can have it on a Friday. Nobody be doing anything for an hour or two. So this one is up to, well, it's 5 hours off, 3,000 hours bang on the nose. Which is pretty cool. It's not bad, like it's just an engine service plus a return filter, so it'll not take an awful lot of doing. We'll get cracked on with this, see how much we can get done before they chuck us out for an hour. I've basically got all the filters are done. Cab filters, oil, fuel. Just got oils to go back in now. Everybody's pointing me out. I know. We're going. I'll tell you what, I'm hot. It's very warm out there today. What temperature is it? 20 degrees outside. Flipping heck. I knew it was hot like because I'm feeling really, really warm. The most obvious statement of this week. I knew I was hot because I was really, really warm. Right, get out of here. I hope we get to see it. I really do.
It's alright, none of us want to watch, Steve. Come on, the hardest working man in here. Come on, quick. Hardest working man in here, Steve. He's telling us that at lunchtime, at brew time.
That was cool. I know exactly what I want to say after that. Do you like that? I didn't I? Grew up watching him when I was younger, when I was a boy. My grandma and granddad's. Did you like that? Right, I'm going to take this long sleeve off. Park this way on because I'm just going to pull my air compressor out. Give all that a blow down. One of the questions from the previous video or previous video, what air compressor am I using? It's this SIP 59 decibels, super duper quiet, really good little compressor for blowing things down. Don't know what it's like on air tools. I don't have any air tools, so I don't need to find out what it's like on air tools, but for something that you need to inflate tires, clean air filters, it's good. Okay. I was going to do a van tour as well. Somebody was asking for a little kind of look around, but I'll probably save that from this video and do it in another video when I'm a bit quieter. One more question I want to answer as well while I've been sat waiting to come back down into here was what does PDI stand for? In the previous video I was talking about how many mechanics we have and that we've got a handful up at Castle Douglas that only do sort of second-hand machine repairs and PDI work. PDI stands for pre-delivery inspection. So when you buy a new machine, some of them come with hitches on, some of them don't. 9 out of 10 times we need a green beacon on. We also need boxing rings, etc, etc. So PDI, pre-delivery inspection, a basic PDI is literally check all the levels, make sure everything's working, set up the dashboard so the time's right, all the stuff's correct. A more in-depth PDI is adding extra pipe work, extra belly plates, protection, guarding, all sorts of things. So you're doing a little bit of wiring, you're doing a little bit of hydraulics, you're doing a little bit of fabrication, and it's really, really good way to get yourself familiar with working on machines that you're selling. So generally, most people will start in the workshop doing PDI work, familiarization. Okay, one down, one to go. How many hours on this did I say? 2995. Got that in my job sheet on here. 2995. Save. Now I'll just give it a little run up, make sure everything works as it should. Then we'll go and get that shovel. I'll be done by lunchtime, I think. What time is it? Bit of smooth music, that, wasn't it? 11:38. Yeah, I'll be out of here by 1 o'clock. Did I bleed them filters up good enough? Mine's running now. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, look at that. Suppose it saves the windscreen, but it's hard to see out of that. packed up the van expecting him to want to do it up there where the bait cabin is in the office, so he's got somewhere warm and dry to sit. But he says, oh, you can do it here if you want. I said, well, I've packed the van now, I might as well make my way closer to the exit and then I'm out of here. The camera picks it up, but there's just a little bit of a blue haze up here, and it smells like, basically it smells like bonfire night, fireworks, explosives. Show you what the blast did. There you go. Cool, that, isn't it? There's a big 30 tonner coming down to square it up a bit. Yes. Come on then, CVT, 500-hour service. An hour's work in it. If we're good, are we going to be good? Okay, I've got engine oil going in. I've just put a rag over the filler neck there so I don't knock any dust into the filler neck. Engine oil filter's done, engine oil's out. All I need to do is fuel filters, pilot filter, exterior cab filter. Everything will be done at the same time. Flying, we're flying. Okay, engine oil's just finished going in. I just finished bleeding up the fuel as well, so that's 2 jobs done in one, if you like. Just set him down there for a second and I'll knock it off. I'll knock that off when I pull that pipe out of there, won't I? Yes, of course you will. Double check the level. I'm expecting it to be somewhere fairly near because I used a little bit out of a new drum on that 20 tonner, so it should be somewhere near, like 37, 38 litres in here. At the end of the world if I need to drain a little bit off, because it's dead easy to do that on this. Let's see. Yeah, we're probably a little bit too high, to be fair. Not the end of the world. Take a couple of litres out of that, we'll be happy. So I'll have a square up now. Pilot filter, cab filter, grease the drive shaft, and we'll be out of here. Another half hour, I would say. Okay, we're greased up. Prove it. You might just be putting your grease gun away, making it look like you've been greasing. Come and show you, look. Empty grease cartridge there. State of me. Filthy. I have been under there, you tinkers. You're telling me I don't do my job right. Right. I've only got a cab filter left to do. I've got mudguard catch to adjust. 13. This one's pulling forward. The problem is when they smack shut, these 13mm bolts are loose. It knocks it back, and then it knocks it back, and then it knocks it back, and it's bad to catch. This one here, it's all the way at the back. So I've sprayed it up with WD-40 right at the start of the service, along with them wheels. So I'll just loosen that, pull it forward, lock it off again. There we go. Oh. I just need to reset the service clock, and I remembered I didn't reset the service clock on the 20 tonner. Silly mate, not the end of the world like. So it's not. I've got a record of the hours it was serviced at. If they come on twining, I'll talk them through it. I'm sure there is. It's not in a special menu. It doesn't need to be reset with a laptop. It's in the user menu. Expendables management. Reset all the ones that are showing 100%. But I will do it to the show, so I'll remember. Thought I'd just nip down on the 420. Reset the light on that. It just keeps it right then. You know me. I like to do it right. Okay, 1 o'clock. I am done in here and I am on time, on schedule to get to where I need to be next. Be just over an hour to the next job and hopefully just over an hour to do the next job. Busy Friday, don't have know how to treat myself. Yes, 7 minutes past 1. So probably 2:30 when we get to the next job. 2:30, 3:30, 10 to 4. I think I'll be packing up. If I'm not going to start like, or wanted a double click that time apparently. Okay, see you at the next one. 20 past 2, we're here, we're signed in. 17 degrees. I tell you what, we're having a better autumn than we had a blooming summer, aren't we? That's what it feels anyway. I've got nothing else to tell you, like. Signed in, ready to go. This electric guy's getting bothered by these cows, look. I'll show you, hang on. No, they've lost interest in him now. They were shoving him around the field. There we go, look, big heap's gone. It is lovely out here today. Look, short sleeves. End of October. Marvellous. Anyway, rinse and repeat, as they say. That's what the young kids say. Cool kids. Nothing to report, nothing to complain about. They got a seal kit for that and resealed it themselves, so I'm going to take it off anyway. It'll probably start leaking again when I service it. Yeah, bit more oil to come out of this one. This one's 56, 6-cylinder engine, Scania. Go on out. Sooner you start, sooner you finish. I've been on the phone for the last 20 minutes to one of my colleagues, so I've not filmed anything obviously. Engine oil's out of it, new engine oil filter is in it. I've not started putting engine oil back into it yet, just because I've been on the phone. I've not had two hands to get everything out the van. But when I was down at that other quarry, he was on the phone. He'd been at a DX350 digger and kept cutting out on the driver. So he was at the machine, he'd pulled the fuel filters off and replaced them as a precaution. Been in among the rail pressure sensor and the metering unit, checking the wiring, pinning it all back to the ECU. I think it's spent a little bit of time in it anyway. He just phoned me just to see if I had any ideas as to what it could be, and I told him to pull the heating element out the fuel filter head and see if it's blocked up, because you guys will have seen last fortnight ago now, wasn't it, there was a 300 that I had that was doing the same thing. So that was him on the phone phoning us back to say that sure enough, that heating element was restricting the fuel flow, and that's what the problem's been. So it's nice to share information. If you're a plant mechanic or a mechanic of any sort, don't be the man in the corner biting your tongue thinking, let's see if these idiots can figure it out for themselves. Who's winning? Who gains by that? Nobody. Customer gets charged more for your time doing the job. And yeah, what's the point? What's the point? Share information. Information is wealth. I know, I've been on the phone to him. In fact, I did yesterday when I was going to that travel motor job. I phoned him, told him what the symptoms were, and he gave me some really good ideas that I hadn't thought about to check before I got up to it. So I was able to take some extra bits along with me if I needed to prove X, Y, and Z. So, yeah, it's a two-way street information. I wouldn't have had anything to gain by not telling him to go and have a look at that, because I think by the sound of how he sounded on the phone, he was pretty fed up. Nice to be nice. Oh, anyway, fuel filter, I've left it in the van. Ta-da! What's the O-ring on? Right. Empty that out. Pop that in that one. And we will bleed the fuel through. Once this fuel's bled through, I'll put the engine oil in while I do the return pilot filter and grease the drive shafts. As you can hear, my oil pump is filling. I'll hopefully have this pilot filter changed by the time it's put its first 20 litres into the engine. Take the air out of there, it just saves mess when you've got to take this off. You don't have to, like, but you know, mate, don't want to make a mess. All done. I wonder how that's getting on. Must be nearly finished now. Put this back on here first. Perfect. Any second now. Somebody was asking me when I'm doing different oils and I'm using that pump, how do I purge it? How do I get the wrong oil out of the pipe before I start filling a different thing? Two things. Just set the pump off, run in with your new oil and run the oil into a waste drum till you see the new oil come through, and you can tell, like, the axle oil's quite clear whereas the engine oil's golden. So if you have been using engine oil and you go to put axle oil in, there's an immediate colour change when you've got the oil through. However, doesn't really affect it. If I'm filling the engine up now and I go and do an axle, what is in that pipe in among 80 litres, 40 litres of oil? It's going to be a drop in the ocean. Guarantee you it won't hurt. There's some things, like if I've been using it to fill hydraulic oil and I go and do an engine, then I probably, I'll run a bit of engine oil through it first just to make sure, because hydraulic oil's got stuff in it that can, you know, at the end of the day, I haven't had any problems over the last 2.5-3 years that I've been using it, so sure, it's fine. Bloody James Bond over there, flying a kite with a 2-stroke petrol engine strapped to his back. What a lunatic. Ha! Wasn't expecting to see that. What was I doing? Oh, I got my van keys so I can change this air filter. Tell you what, it's a nice day for it, isn't it? Half of me wishes I was up there doing it. The other half of me knows that I'd be terrified being up there doing that. You'd be embarrassed if you fell in that lake, wouldn't you? Bet that petrol motor would just sink you. What a way to go. Initially, you'd be glad, wouldn't you? If you fell from the sky up there, you'd be glad you landed in a lake. It'd hurt less than landing in a tree or a field, but then you'd have that big petrol engine on your back. There we go. 4:10, finished. That has gone. Today has gone remarkably well. I like it when things go well. People saying that my fittings here are a bit big, but if I disconnect that there, can I do that? There we go. The only reason I use quick couplers is keeps the mess down. I don't want this thing dribbling its contents all the inside of me toolbox. And the reason I use 3/4 fittings instead of 1/2 ones is it's 1/2 out of here, and a 3/4 fitting, 1/2 fitting would add a restriction, making oil flow slow. I mean, I'm not trying to move lots of oil really quickly, but I'm also wanting to not be waiting for oil levels to fill. See, that's got a non-return valve on it. I mean, this is going to go and live in a bucket anyway, but I've got a non-return valve on there, so any oil in this pipe just can't go anywhere. See, it just lives in there anyway, but it's more when I'm wandering about with stuff, not leaving trails of oil everywhere. I am literally saving the environment every single day. Okay, we'll go and kindle it into life once I've got this big hose wrapped up. What a day. Okay, people. It's Friday. The van is unloaded and restocked. All waste oil has been disposed of in a correct manner. I'm ready to go home. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry about the previous video being late, and thank BT again for that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm hoping that we'll have this video live by Sunday evening. If it's Monday, thank BT. I'm going to fall out with BT. It is ruining my media empire. See you in the next one.